James Eric McDonough shared Charlie Grabski's post. 6 HRS. I'm blushing. One of my personal heroes independently analyzing my case, and placing it as one of the most important precedents ever. Charlie Grabski. 21 HRS. If you read anything I write/post, I urge you to read this one. The most important federal rights precedent case. The federal courts have now put in writing what I have been stating since Clovis Watson first arrested me, and now it is firmly established in law. You have a right to record public officials when acting as public officials, because in that capacity and context they have neither a right nor an expectation to privacy. The case was brought pro se by James Eric McDonough. Here is the ruling. Why do I say this is the most important rights cases? Because it doesn't directly establish the right to record a public official. Because what it does is far stronger than that. It implies that right, but never has to get to it. Because it establishes, thus far more significantly, that the public official in the context and capacity of being a public official has no right to privacy that can be viewed as a countervailing right to the right to record. What you will find is the same pattern of abuses used against McDonough in Homestead in 2016 was that used against me in 2006, by the city, with its police department, and the assistance of the state attorney, as I experienced in Alachua. In the 10 years between my case in Alachua and McDonough's in Homestead, we began to see what is on display in the extreme in these two cities, being normalized in practice across the nation, at the very same time that law enforcement is now normalized in its abuse of force to the extreme of being presumed to have not violated the law in the killings of persons for no reason than an officer claimed that they were in fear for their lives in doing their job. And note how directly both our cases, 10 years apart, center on the same issues of corruption in local government, in local law enforcement, and in the judicial process itself. This is an important federal case. This is one of the most significant federal civil rights cases to date in terms of establishing the right of the public, even though this case never has to go that far, just as mine was ruled at the district level without having to argue our First Amendment right. But this is actually even more significant in what it doesn't do, by what it entails in what is said. Because it is an even stronger establishment of that citizens' right to record not just police officers but public officials qua public officials. The court has accepted the argument I made back in 2006 when I was similarly arrested, while exposing corruption in local government, for recording the evidence of the violation of public records laws, and charged under what most would refer to as the wiretapping statute. The issue of our First Amendment right to record never came up, because in the capacity of a public official in the context of carrying out the duties of that public office, the individual has neither an expectation nor a right to privacy. That is far stronger of an established right to record public officials than even a case that directly established that as a positive right. That right is entailed, and thus implied throughout, in the facts of the case. But the absence of both the right and the expectation to privacy, when acting in the capacity of a public official, is far stronger of a protection of the public's right to know than even the positive establishment of the right to record the public acts of public officials. There is no countervailing right of privacy of the official that can be used to limit the public's right to know what is done by an official as an official. Phone has a problem with copy/paste. Here is another link to the case, http://case law.findlaw.com/us-findone1th-circuit/1867669.html.
Good evening. My name is Dr. James Eric McDonough. I live at 32320 Southwest 199th Avenue. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to speak here tonight. I would like to bring to the attention of the full Council and the good citizens of Homestead some serious matters which need to be addressed. I will continue to address matters of public concern so long as my First Amendment rights cease to be wrongfully and unlawfully abridged by the mayor and the manager. That these violations were made in violation of the city's charter as well as the rules and policy of these meetings in such an open and public manner is discouraging to say the least. Respectfully, I'd like to comment openly on some remarks made by the manager at last meeting. When speaking about these victims of abuse, Manager Gretzis basically stated that they had written emails and letters, had filed complaints, and had gone to other law enforcement agencies and even the state's attorney's office, among other avenues attempting to obtain redress. Manager Gretzis stated specifically that no one had ignored them. First, I'd like to point out that these higher level agencies will not take complaints from a citizen. The citizen is always referred back to the original agency and their IA departments. This presents a perfect opportunity for the fox to guard the hen house. It is naive to think there is not selective enforcement against both civilians and law enforcement alike. In honest cases of abuse, Homestead Police Department basically claims nothing to see here. We've investigated ourselves and we found we followed the policy and law. Yet if one actually looks at the policies and the law, these falsehoods are exposed in example after example after example. It is kindly submitted that the manager is not fully aware of even 1/10 of what he has spoken, though he has falsely accused others of doing exactly such. Yet if the manager is aware, then it's at least malfeasance of office. The manager appeared to imply, as none of the other officers were charged, maybe they were innocent or that the complaints were not valid. It is humbly submitted, if this is the position of the manager, then with his legal background, he should be able to see the logical fallacies present. It is to be understood, as has been explained by the Honorable Mayor, that the manager is a biased spokesperson with regard to his employees. Given this reasoning, one could understand that if the chief of police were involved in a criminal conspiracy to cover up crimes, then charges would not likely fall on the guilty officers. Surely if I accused Chief Roll of such actions, it would be labeled slander. So please listen to Chief Roll's words in his own words.
And that went down with McDonough because this guy nasty him. Got to the point where you end up getting yourself arrested. And then
Because he lied.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, it just too much stuff happened. And right now, it's at a point right now where if you want to pursue this and file suits and everything, we're going to have to say we have some problem based on what you showing me and what you're showing me.
Oh, yeah.
You did some homework.
Chief Roll is present, so if he would like to defend himself at any point, I would welcome this. Where are the documents I gave you, Chief Roll? The manager must welcome this also, based on his previous objections and in the effort of open government, keeping everything in the sunshine. What I'm concerned about is how Chief Roll could pivot from this statement to at least concealing the evidence given to him, and then placing a document in the IA files concluding that my evidence is false. Acting with a corrupt manner and intent to falsify the public record, to conceal public records, or to obstruct the transmission of evidence relating to the commission of a felony that directly affects one's agency is official misconduct under Florida Statute 838.022, Section 1, paragraphs A, B, and C. This is 3 separate third-degree felonies.
Okay.
I guess since my time is up, I'll go ahead and step down. I just want everybody to know that if you would like to, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see my YouTube videos where I've laid out the clear evidence of Chief Roll's felony crimes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
A good friend and cop watcher from Homestead, Florida just won his lawsuit against a police chief that tried to illegally have him arrested and jailed. James Eric McDonough, 11 HRS. Here, I call Chief Roll out for his felonies at a public council meeting. And play part of my audio recording that was allegedly illegal. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. Looks like somebody got some splaining to do. In light of the newly established precedent. McDonough v. Rundle. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=on ERPDIYS54. James Eric McDonough. 16 HRS. I won my federal appeal on recording police. I recorded Chief Roll, and was able to document his felony records destruction and falsification. He tried to have me arrested for cyberstalking, then wiretap for exposing his crimes. The court ruled, we hold that McDonough did not violate 934.03 and Consequently, the government's threatened prosecution has no basis in the law. Now the state attorney has no veiled reason to not arrest Chief ROLLE for felony records destruction in 2 separate incidents. One against me, and the other against innocent officers. Shame on him. Here is the decision: http://media.ca11.us-cowards.gov/opinion/pub/files/2015146442.pdf. James Eric McDonough. 8 HRS. If I have seen farther than others, it because I stood upon the shoulders of giants. 1. The first exposing me to the right to record, past my own previous thoughts on it being acceptable as a mandate, was Carlos Miller. In setting precedents, as well as energizing and inspiring the nation and world. He is near single-handedly responsible for starting this fire across the globe. This is not to discredit the work and untold sacrifice of countless thousands of others, for making recording of our police interactions as well as the subsequent fight for accountability a front and center issue. The love and respect of the nation for life works such his, and the collective and selfless personal sacrifices of others, must exceed our personal desires for comfort, if this experiment we have going in self-rule is to continue. As I had been following Carlos since 2008, when I received the SOW's letter threatening me, after my initial 5-minute steam release along with a few expletives, I went outside and got on my hands and knees, and thanked Jesus. I gave thanks for providing me with standing to challenge the application of the law that had been used against people trying to preserve the record for better than a decade. This abuse I found so unjust, since it is your word against theirs otherwise, leading to unspeakable tragedy. Then I cannot fail honor this man, without noting he was the only person of any influence who would listen to me, and believed me when no one else would, as he has done for countless others with no voice. I feel so blessed to have been able to make our causes coextensive and benefit his work for the mutual benefit of all Americans. Carlos got my story out, and did the same for so many countless others, when we were treated like we were radioactive by everyone else. The 11 THS circuit ruling should be as much of a win for Carlos Miller as it is for me, as he literally deserves it more than me, and he was the greatest human inspiration involved herein. 2. We come to Jeffrey Marcus Gray. This man is the godfather of record/First Amendment audits. This is the coolest cat under the most severe pressure who possibly ever existed. His explanations on the record for all to see of the First Amendment, the Florida records law parameters, with repeated demonstrations of the most calm, cool and collected demeanor of every possible scenario you have ever seen, while he is being improperly and illegally greased over by the man and knows it. The retaliation and suffering Jeff has endured fighting for our rights is astounding and should break all of our hearts. He is the only other person fighting for the rights of all Americans, other than me I am aware of, who has not lost his mate, fighting the system, and I pray neither of us do. The people in this game are either single or young, or lost things in sacrifice. This is the story no one ever hears. Such as with another hero of mine whose name cannot be mentioned, i.e. DW of NNH. You hear the wins, not the losses, and this tribute is to them. Jeff has set the stage for all the people you now see holding officials accountable to the people. He has led as a true example of courage, wisdom, restraint, and persistence. His work has impacted thousands if not millions, and I continually strive to emulate his level of professionalism and precision of self-control, and I nearly always fall drastically short. This is a man who does not stop, and leaves even me humbled in so many ways. The 3 most touching compliments I have ever received in my life based upon my intellect was 1, a teacher who was an engineer in high school who was the first to ever have faith in me intellectually as a powerhouse before even I would accept it. 2, my late great-uncle Jack, one of the head scientists/engineers for DuPont for decades and recipient of the Inventor of the World Award, one of the 3 smartest men I have ever met in my life, the 3 Nobel Prize winners I have met, one being a professor I interacted regularly with, do not make that list, who was perplexed when I did things he couldn't, and 3, when today Jeff congratulated and exclaimed me his hero. 3, Next we move on to who I would call the queen of the First Amendment, Nydia Tisdale. This is a spectacular woman, who has endured much, sacrificed much, and still comes out ready to fight. She has been referred to as the ultra-local XPAN. Her council meeting videos, which she calls Nydios, are classic. Not to mention she keeps the city of Cumming in check, the same one from Smith v. Cumming that set the original precedent in the 11th Circuit for recording police, cited in all my briefs. My hat is off to his lady, as yours should be as well. She has won major First Amendment victories for recording public council meetings, and simply being forbidden from recording council meetings. Further, her case will be cited in homestead cases of me and others. Nydia's victories and perseverance are near as admirable as her boldness in the face of atrocities of which I will not repeat on my page. Truly her and others humble me. You should follow her work if you are interested in seeing a patriot as well as the sacrifices they must make. 4. Then last, but certainly in no way least, Charlie Grabski. This man is almost half of the Florida government in the Sunshine Manual. You want to talk public records or public meetings, he is your man, and has helped me tremendously in both personal advice, as well as clearing the path and establishing precedent on public records. This man has suffered more abuse than most, received less help or attention than most, and is one of the most important people in Florida for expanding or maintaining our rights as citizens and or media to keep our government accountable to us. As well as my example to keep me going. I must declare, in terms of an intellectual powerhouse and legal prowess in getting things done changed, there is no equal I have encountered, and my hat is off to him. My prayers are with him and his family, and I would ask that yours are as well. There are many others as well who are directly responsible as much or more than me for this win. Anyone not included is not thought of as lesser in any way. It was literally took hundreds of people behind this to make it happen, but those I can easily name before going to sleep are Felipe Hemming, Matthew Oki, Susan Jungard, Steve Miller, Angel Garcia III, and David Payton, for their constant prayers and support. Yet the most importantly, the one who has likely suffered the most herein, and gained the least, is my wife, my best friend, my soulmate, and the one who keeps it all together. Without her none of what I do would be possible, and for her carrying parts of this burden I am both utterly proud and ashamed. I am blessed beyond imagination to call all of you, my brothers, sisters, friends, and most importantly family. Thank you for all of your help, support, belief, and prayers. Dr. James Eric McDonough, aka Doc Justice.
Hey, Sheriff, we have a question about why your office, your intelligence division, is investigating private citizens for criminal investigation that happen to be activists that are overseeing your department. Why would you have your intelligence division investigate private citizens? We have done... Sir, we don't hate anyone. We love freedom and we love American people. And government is out of control. That's why you're seeing such a revolt nationwide. Why can't you just answer, why is Susan Edwards, your intelligence division, investigating private citizens? This should not happen.
Are you here to apply for a job?
Possibly I might be applying for a job, but that's irrelevant to my question. Why would you ask that question?
Well, enjoy the fair.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse you?
Excuse me, sir.
So those of you that haven't
Wow.
been on a bike before, we're
Sheriff's
just
getting a little too pushy. You work for us, Sheriff. Just keep that in mind. At one time we respected you, but not with that type of attitude.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it, you know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.